By the end of this video, you will learn all of Paul George's signature combos and some of his best combos in NBA 2K24. So whether you're playing my team, play now online, or using his signature animations in my career, this is the tutorial that you need in order to truly unleash your signature Paul George style in NBA 2K24. And before we get started, I'd like to thank 2K for giving me temporary access to these My Team cards through their 2K community content program. And stick around until the end of the video because I'll be giving away a free Diamond Magic Johnson courtesy of the guys at NBA 2K. Alright, so in my opinion, Paul George is one of the guys that benefited from the pro play technology. His animations are accurate to real life and you'll be able to unleash his signature combos in NBA 2K24. Now, there's nothing special about Paul George's signature size-ups, which are done by flicking the right stick in different directions. His crossover launches are fine, if not a little bit telegraphed, so you'll have to be able to set your defender up, keep them off balance, and then attack with that crossover launch. But otherwise, it's not one of my favorite size-up combos, and I hope in 2K25 with new pro play animations they improve this a little bit. But as you can see, it's more than enough. A simple tween crossover launch gets us a great angle to drive to the basket, putting pressure on a much faster Kyrie Irving to try and cut us off, leaving him open to an easy spin jumper counter. And Paul George, I think, has the Pro or Pro 2 spin jumper, which is one of the best in the game. And as you can see, with even just with bronze blow by, that crossover launch is so tight, it's so quick that you're able to blow by much smaller and much quicker defenders to attack the basket. Alright, his different escape dribble combos are fine. Escape dribbles are done by holding turbo and flicking the right stick in any crossover direction. In a previous video, I showed you the secret attacking crossover, which gives Paul George a third breakdown dribble. But in my opinion, Paul George's best escape dribble is his step back escape, which is done by holding turbo and tapping the right stick down. And as you can see, once your defender presses up against you after that nice step back, you can burst out of it with a mean crossover launch. Here we combo it with a nice dribble size up, which I'll show later on. Combo into a step back, wait for our defender to close out, and then look at that quick crossover burst that gets us to the bucket. The other great thing about the step back crossover explode is that you can immediately explode into a crossover even though the step back animation hasn't been executed in full, giving you the power to catch your defender off guard. As you can see right here, we were able to burst quickly out of a step back, not waiting for the step back animation to finish. Again, like something like Steph, you need his step back animation to finish. With Paul George, that's not the case. You can immediately burst out of it into a nice crossover launch. Take a look at this situation right here. My defender wanted to run away from me. He realized he was on ball, but no sir. Believe me, man, this step back escape into crossover launch sets up so many of my favorite Paul George combos. You're gonna want to get familiar with it. Another great escape move from Paul George is hesitation escape, which is done by holding turbo and tapping the right stick towards your ball hand. It's a nice hesitation escape that covers a lot of distance. But like your step back escape, it can immediately be cancelled out of and comboed into your different dribble moves. Blink and you might have missed when I executed that hesitation dribble right there. Take a look at this right here. After this tween, I go into a hezi, cancel that immediately into that step back, into that crossover, putting pressure on my defender, and again, leaving him open to an easy spin jumper counter. And while each of these moves individually is fine, once you learn how to combo everything together, as you can see, you're able to do anything with Paul George to get you from stationary size-ups into his moving crossover dribbles. A simple tween escape cancelled into that step back, immediately launching into a crossover, gives us so many options, and this is really one of my favorite target combos for Paul George. Combo that with your moving crossovers, your aggressive hesitation moves, and believe me, you'll keep your defender off balance with Paul George's ability to shoot from range and get to the bucket. Now, the next favorite set of combos that I really enjoy from Paul George are his regular breakdown combos and his aggressive breakdown dribble combos, which are accurate to real life thanks to the power of pro play. To execute a regular breakdown dribble, tap up on your right stick to give you that prolonged dribble sequence. Then to execute an aggressive breakdown dribble, hold R2 and then tap up on the right stick. And as you can see, I love to use these breakdown dribbles in combination with my different step back escapes or hesitation escapes. Take a look at this situation right here. After a regular breakdown dribble, I execute a hezi, canceled into that step back, which we talked about, got an ankle breaker animation, crossed up D-Wade, he tried to close out, but again, we immediately counter with that spin jumper, and believe me, that's Paul George as a bucket. The regular breakdown dribble gives you so much forward pressure, making your defender backpedal a little bit. Now be careful that they're not trying to steal the ball at any point, but as you can see, you can counter very well. Why I really like these breakdown dribble combos is because it combos really well with Paul George's pro play step back jumpers. So combo the different dribble chain with Paul George's signature step back jumpers to get unique pro play moments. As you see right here, this is one of my favorite pro play sequences. This was actually a move that he executed against the Sacramento Kings, and it's one of my favorite things to execute in the game. Again, the aggressive breakdown dribble puts so much forward pressure that leads us into a nice step back to create separation. And even though that was heavily contested, this is Paul George, man, against much smaller players. Don't fear, execute these aggressive breakdown combos. Whether you're going left or right, Paul George has some good pro play combos. This situation right here is so fun. Defender tried to overhelp, but what happened? I was putting pressure, caused confusion, hit that signature step back jumper. And pro play isn't a gimmick. Take a look at this signature step back, which some people might think is so slow, but take a look at this in action right here. We use that gather out of that signature step back, that crossover to step back, to set up our defender. Take a look. This step back sets up our defender, thinking he'll have to push up. Then we immediately cancel that step back into a tween crossover, force our defender to close out, and then again counter with a spin jumper. That's cash money. And it's not just the signature pro play combos that you can execute in combination with the breakdown dribbles. Try exploring different directions of the step back jumpers, or try mixing up the timing of your step back jumper by delaying the combo sequence. Here in the step back, I got a different step back jumper from the standard pro play combo. And now that we know these nice rhythm dribbles and we can cancel and combo that at any point, play around with your different escape dribble moves that I taught you in the earlier part of the video to force your defender to get a little bit off balance. Read that situation, change the pace with your different dribble moves and crossover launches, and you're gonna be able to dominate your defender in the perimeter or in the paint. And man, Paul George has some of the best pro play signature animations in the game. This particular step back jumper is one of my favorites. Practice how to execute Paul George's different step back jumpers, know the situation in which to use them, and you'll be really successful. And I love using the T-Mac launch with Paul George. Just because Paul George is such a shifty and crafty ball handler, when you combo these out of that T-Mac launch, man, you can get some really sick combos. And I bet you didn't even know you can cancel the T-Mac launch into a post fade, just like T-Mac did in real life. And look at how I do my opponent dirty right here, giving him the surf wiggle where he was in an ankle breaker animation. So Paul George is the perfect canvas for you to unleash your creativity in NBA 2K24. I didn't even go into his different abilities in terms of the defensive end of the floor, but take a look, man. As a shot creating nightmare, he's got all the counters in the game, even able to hit these difficult up and unders. And beyond the pro play combos that I showed, as you can see, you can be a nice post threat with Paul George, similar to what Kobe Bryant can do, or even Kawhi Leonard, for example. Alright, so I mentioned earlier in the video that I'll be giving away a Diamond Magic Johnson courtesy of NBA 2K. Now the contest is very simple. All you have to do is like the video and comment your platform and your username or ID for that specific platform, being as clear as possible. Now, as a disclaimer, 2K has no say in who gets the card. I will be choosing the card myself randomly based on the entries in the comment section. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and if you have Paul George in my team, you probably have the best shooting guard in the game. We have more to come this week, so I'll see you in the next one. Peace.